AT&T has nationwide 5G,
Yep.
and that's faster?
Faster, yeah.
But is it reliable?
Uh-huh, and secure.
You should consider making a big deal about it.
Bigger?
I said bigger.
Oh, bigger deal, bigger than what I'm doing.
It's not complicated. A 5G network needs a 5G device. Now everyone, including existing customers, can get a free Samsung Galaxy Note 20 after trade-in.
Welcome back to ACC football. An unusual start to the 2020 season continues here in Pittsburgh. You're looking at Heinz Field, an empty Heinz Field. Empty of fans, that is, but not of players. We do have the Pitt Panthers. We do have the Austin Peay Governors on site as the Panthers take the field for their opener to not only the 2020 season, but certainly here at home, even though for many it will not feel like a home game. Players and coaches alike, though, just happy to get the season underway. As are we, and as are you, I'm sure, as well. Chris Cotter and Mark Hertzlich here at Heinz Field. It has been an unusual offseason, and it continues today because the news coming in hot and heavy here. We got a news flash just moments ago that Rashad Weaver, starting defensive end for Pitt, will not play today. He said on his Twitter account it's because he tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, and that's the only way that we would know that it is COVID-related. But there are 7 players from this Pittsburgh Panthers team that are not going to be at the game. One of those is Rashad Weaver, a man that they were excited to get back. He missed the entire season last year with an injury, but he was supposed to be very productive for them and still will be this year. They had such success getting to the quarterback last year. You see them tied for first in the country. A lot of that had to do with Jalen Twyman, who opted out this year. Right. He led the team with 10.5 sacks. We'll see if they're able to regain some of that pressure on the quarterback.
Well, they'll be missing some star power on the defensive line, but not at quarterback. Kenny Pickett is back for his 3rd year as a starter. They're expecting big things from him this year.
Yeah, they are, and he's only one of 3 returning players in the ACC with 3,000 yards passing from last season. And although he had such success through the air, he did have issues in terms of consistency. He was up and down throughout the entire season. Consistency is something that he is working on and that he can show today in week 1.
Pitt won the toss and deferred the second half. Toe meets leather, brothers and sisters, and we're underway here at Heinz Field. Alex Kessman, stud kicker for the Panthers, drives it through the back of the end zone. It'll be our first opportunity to see Austin Peay and their quarterback Jeremiah Oatsfall, who, we talk about some of the players coming back from injury, Mark. Here's Oatsfall, who was a star for this team, the 2017 Ohio Valley Freshman of the Year. 2018 had a big year, then got hurt just 2 games into last year. Now he's back.
Yeah, he's back, and he already had a game under his belt this season. They played the season opener this year against Central Arkansas, and what we saw out of him was a little bit of inconsistency. We talked to the offensive coordinator, Tim Zetz, and said, what can we do to get him to settle down? And that poise in the pocket, using his legs to run the ball when needed, is something they're going to look for early.
They're going to start to throw right off the bat. Oatsfall completes. His wide receiver on the outside. That's D'Angelo Wilson, the reigning Ohio, or I should say preseason OVC Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, and you take a look here at Pat Narduzzi, 6th season at Pitt, and he's really turned this program into something special. Offensively, 2 years ago, they had 2 1,000-yard rushers. Last year, they got away from the run game completely offensively, and they stuck it in the air for over 3,000 yards. He is a defensive guy naturally, but he brings in offensive coordinators that really benefit these personnels.
Brian Snead carrying the ball for the Governors. He'll pick up a first down, so a good start for Austin Peay State. Brian Snead, they'll go with 2 running backs. You'll see Snead and C.J. Evans, a true freshman. Evans is a little bit more of a lighter back, more of your prototypical, I guess you'd say maybe a 3rd down kind of back, catches the ball really well to the backfield. Snead at 6'1", 215, he's a heavy hitter. To bring some pressure off the edge, gets away from Oatsfall, and they're going to rule this an incomplete pass. The whistle came a little bit late there. Thought that might have been ruled a fumble, but it wasn't complete.
Wow, and that ball looked like it might have slipped out of his hands before it was a pass. Let's see if the arm's coming forward and where the possession of the ball is. Yeah, it looks like he just tried to pull it back down. The ball slipped out of his hands. Right, that's a tuck rule. Incomplete pass, good call by the referees. But it does bring up a 2nd and long, something that Tim Zetz, the offensive coordinator, said they did not want to get into because 3rd down comes next, and that's when the pass rush of Pitt takes over.
Pitt showing blitz. They come. And they bring the ball carrier down in the backfield.
Paris Ford. Paris Ford, to me, is the best run-stopping safety in the ACC. And you saw him there come down, creep to the line of scrimmage at the very last second, and blitzed right through an open gap. Sure tackle in the backfield, and now we have a 3rd and long situation. And look for different sets out of Pitt, maybe 2 defensive linemen down and 3 defensive linemen down. And you got to expect pressure on Jeremiah Oatsfall.
Snead in the backfield with Oatsfall. 3rd down and 13 for the Governors. Pitt showing pressure up the middle. They come with it. Oatsfall now flushed. Gets rid of it downfield. That's going to be intercepted by Paris Ford. Oatsfall forced it, and Paris Ford was right there to pick it up. First turnover of the year forced by the Panthers. Now we'll get a chance to see Pitt on offense.
Fantastic play by Paris Ford, but this is what we're talking about with Jeremiah Oatsfall. Panicking a little bit, getting a little bit nervous. You see him escape the pocket, pressure in his face that Pitt is known for. You just got to throw that ball away and punt the ball downfield. But 2 fantastic plays back-to-back for preseason All-ACC player Paris Ford.
An opportunity to see Kenny Pickett now for the first time. Last time he was out on the field, he was the Quick Lane Bowl MVP. 361 yards passing in that game and 3 touchdowns. Here he hands off to A.J. Davis, and a good pickup of 4 or 5 yards on first down. It's time for Food Lions Food for Thought. When you talk about what they were able to do last year, when you think of Pitt, I think of them running the football, but they were a passing team last year.
Yeah, traditionally you would think about running the football, but they were all through the air. We talked to Mark Whipple, their offensive coordinator, and he is known for his passing game, and he really relies on offensive line coach Dave Borberly to set this run game tempo. And we talked to some of the offensive linemen, including Jimmy Morrissey, their all-world center, and it is a point of pride for this offensive line to get another 1,000-yard rusher in this backfield.
And Jordan Addison, the true freshman on the receiving end there, picked up a first down, going back to Addison, just off his fingertips. And you certainly got an opportunity to see the explosiveness of this young man out of Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah, Jordan Addison is a guy that they really like. They said that he was so impressive during camp because he did not drop passes. Drop passes plagued Pitt last year. Obviously, I say that, and he dropped the pass right there. But what they're looking for is consistency out of these young players, and they have been so impressed with how their freshmen have performed up until this point. But now the lights are on proverbially, and it's game time.
Pickett keeping it, makes a move, and gets outside. He'll pick up the first down and a lot more. But that's not something you would expect to see, but a design run for Pickett. He's got a smile on his face, like, I can run it.
Well, I think this is something that Pickett wants to see. When he has his best passing statistics, they are also aligned with the games that he is most effective as a runner. He gets in a rhythm by using his legs first, and really it pulls safeties up and opens up the passing game, and the confidence for Kenny Pickett becomes huge.
Empty backfield with Pickett. Slings it outside to A.J. Davis. Flag on the play. Let's check that.
Offense. 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Jerry Magallanes, our referee today. First time we've heard from him. 5 yards against the Panthers. I'll move him back. 1st and 15 now.
Kenny Pickett, I mean, he had some yards in the ground last year, but it wasn't as many as he had the year previously, and they want to keep consistently give him the ball, that option look.
Davis, a lot of room to run on the left side. Scoots for about 9 yards. Another flag on the play, though. Let's check it. Offsides against the Governors. As we wait for Jerry Magallanes to give us the call, Pitt deciding on down and distance how they want to operate here. It's a good look at Coach Narduzzi. Let's join Quinn Kesnick.
5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Coach Narduzzi left that decision up to offensive coordinator Mark Whipple, second-year coordinator.
We'll check in with Quinn Kesnick here in a little bit. He's a third member of our crew.
Usually we say he's down there on the sidelines, but he's hovering around the first row because really the restrictions are so strict with the COVID-19 policies that he's not even allowed to be on the field.
He's near the sideline.
Yes.
Pickett back to pass. Over again to Addison. Just steps out of bounds. Pitt decided to take the penalty to make it first down and 10 to get the 5 yards back that they lost. Addison out of bounds, making it second down and 2 now for the Panthers.
With Desir Mack not playing right now, you're seeing who the go-to guy is, freshman Jordan Addison.
Davis gets a good block on the right side to seal it. He'll pick up the first down, a lot more. Taken down at about the 15-yard line.
You look in the screen, there's number 77, number 67, number 53. All those offensive linemen talked about all this week how they want to follow the running back downfield, be in the picture at the end of the play, because they know that means they're firing off the ball.
Give to Davis again. Very similar play on the right side. Puts his shoulder down. He's met and tackled by Terrell Vassell. One of these defensive backs for the Governors was transferred in.
Looks like Austin
from Villanova. Timeout on the field. Austin Peay wants to talk things over, and Marcus Lovings. Pitt on the move. We'll be back to Heinz Field after this.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way.
On to slide 236, which covers line 45. We were at 62%, and then
To me, the A and Chick-fil-A is for available. We can serve you in the drive-thru. We can deliver your food to your house. We have delivery partners, and we have our own delivery system. Home can be wherever you choose. You don't need to go anywhere else. On Sunday, maybe, but that's about it.
The A in Chick-fil-A stands for a connection. Having the opportunity to have a positive connection with the guest, I think is really cool. It is kind of a fun challenge to try to make that person's day. I don't know, it just makes life better. Like, why not?
At the Confluence in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, an empty Heinz Field, the setting. This place is usually raucous. The student section behind me, typically guys on their feet, faces painted, the place is nuts. Right now, though, we got a DJ playing. You got to bring your own juice. For Kenny Pickett, his mom from New Jersey drove to town today to meet Kenny at the bus when they got to the stadium today. She said, I wanted to keep things normal. I haven't missed one of Kenny's games since he was young. And so she's here. She gave him a hug. She went back to the hotel to watch this game on TV, Chris.
I want to say hello to Kenny's mom and, of course, Kenny's senior captain from Oakhurst, New Jersey. Hoping to lead Pitt to their first score of the season. They were terrible in the red zone last year. Only 47% of their trips in resulted in touchdowns. They're looking to change that right away here. Davis barrels over the defender, puts the ball on the carpet, but they'll rule him down right at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, you look at the play they ran first, a run play. Remember, Mark Whipple's pass offense last year, they only ran 38% of the time that they were in the red zone. So already with one run on one carry, that 100%, they're already disproving that stat line. Let's see if they continue with it.
Yeah, make us.
3rd and 1 now. You got to look at Mark Whipple in his second year as OC. Trying to get Davis over that first down marker, and he does. Still on his feet. Eventually he'll be wrestled down to the ground, but this will be a 1st and goal for Pitt.
Establish an
First
identity.
and goal at Pitt. One player I want to look for to see if he's on the field is number 21. Just carried the ball, A.J. Davis. He's their power back.
Give to Davis, flag down. He puts his head down, won't get to the end zone, but he picks up a couple. against the Governors and Coach Whipple and company. They'll take that penalty half the distance and get another down. Daniel Carter in the backfield. He'll kick the carry and he'll score. The freshman from Margate, Florida, puts the Panthers up top.
Well, Chris, 3 plays in the red zone, 3 designed runs. Get the big boys up front some confidence. The offensive line needed to have that drive, that series where they were all on the ground, get their feet moving forward, run off the ball, get their running backs in the end zone. Great drive by Pittsburgh to open this game.
Alec Kessman in for the try. And he buries it. Paris forward interception leads to a Pitt drive, capped off by Daniel Carter from 2 yards out. Panthers up early.
Still driving the old model, huh?
I've been looking, but I just need someone to tell me what a good price is.
Just use Auto Trader. It's the only one with Kelley Blue Book. It tells you if the price is good.
Look, sport might not be the answer right now, but it teaches us this, that impossible challenges must be faced, and the reward is joy. And now that sport is back, don't waste these chances. Opportunities will come, and we must be ready.
Pitt up early here at Heinz Field. When you think about Pitt, you think about some guys who could sling it. But let's talk about the running backs, too, because, Mark, I think when we both think about the Pitt Panthers, we think about guys that can tote the rock.
Yeah, big guys up front of that offensive line, and then running backs who can do it. And the interesting thing, they're not all the big pounding running backs.
Deion Lewis, little guy.
Yeah, James Conner's got a little bit more of it, but I remember having to tackle Shady McCoy when I was at the Giants and he was with the Eagles, and it was almost impossible, and you did not want to have to cover him out of the backfield. And so far today, these running backs that are currently at Pitt have had a really good game, but it all starts up front with Jimmy Morrissey and his men on that front line.
Yeah, A.J. Davis carried it a bunch on that drive, and Daniel Carter put the ball across the end zone. Kessman kicking off. We'll get a touchback here. Tonight it's ACC Network Primetime Football. Western Kentucky taking on Louisville at Cardinal Stadium. 8 o'clock on the ACC Network, also on that ESPN app. Roy Philpott will be there with Tim Hasselbeck and hometown hero Eric Wood. Beautiful day in Pittsburgh, as you can see. Fort Duquesne Bridge spanning the Allegheny River. Would be a beautiful day for fans to be in attendance, but I'm sure everybody at home is just happy that we have football. Glad we could bring it to you here on the ACC Network.
I'm sure they're not happy you're telling them that either. The one they're hoping for not a great day, super hot, humid, because they're on their couch.
After the game, you can go out and enjoy the weather a little bit. Sidearm pass out. Ball completes to Beniko Harley. Limited game. Marcus Lovings, interim head coach for the time being at Austin Peay State, took over when Mark Hudspeth resigned in July. So when you think about the offseason for this team, tumultuous is with everybody else because of COVID, but also now having a new coaching situation.
Yeah, if anybody else is like me and they think the last 6 months almost flew by, you can't even believe it's September already, how about Marcus Lovings? Head coach in July. Okay, let's coach some games. You have, by the way, the first game of the entire football season. Good luck.
Holtzfall keeps it. Picks up about 8. It'll bring him 3rd and 1. Interesting for Lovings. He was basically working with Hudspeth for the better part of a decade at Louisiana Lafayette, a couple of other places. So the transition was fairly smooth as it can be in July, a couple of months before the start of the year.
We talked to him about his desire, just the desire to be a head coach. He said he's dreamed about it since he graduated high school in Gainesville, Florida. So he is currently living his dream right now. Wildcat set with Snead, who took the direct snap.
That's going to be close. I believe he got it. The officials are coming in, marking it right on the 35-yard line, and it will be a first down.
Going fast on the ball.
Give the Snead. He's got nowhere to go. Met up and stacked up on the line of scrimmage.
You know, some of the challenges of week one, Mark, you can tell the viewers. Pitt's defense, you watch this Austin Peay offense, and their opener, they use the flex bone, kind of a wing tee with a shotgun and a pistol. We've seen none of that.
Yeah, and they do that because these offensive coordinators want you to look at something, and then they're not going to give it to you, so you waste your practice time. Practice time is so precious, especially in college. Didn't look like that last play was a problem for Pitt, though. They kind of stuffed it right in the backfield.
Again, direct snap to Snead. He has met the line of scrimmage.
Interestingly enough, I think that was Benito Harley who motioned in for the wide receiver.
You're right.
And they switched it up, so they have been doing this. This is something new, right? We talked about that wing tee spread set that they ran, that triple option look. Now they're motioning guys in to take direct snaps. And Benito Harley's a guy, last year he threw for a touchdown pass, and in their first game he threw a pass on a reverse, so that's always a threat.
He threw it for a pass, ran for a score, and a lot of balls for the score all in last year. Quickly, trying to get it out to Wilson, and it falls incomplete. He's had to set up the screen, just couldn't connect. It'll bring up fourth down for the Governors, and a couple of weeks ago in their opener, Mark, because of illness, they didn't have any long snappers on hand. So they decided to just have old ball take a couple of steps back and punt. Now it looks like, as you can see, Nick Reenock is in attendance here today, long snapping the ball, so it might be a little bit more conventional for the Governors. Cole Leeds is back to punt.
We got to ask Marcus Lovings about that. He said, Kevin Durant said that his mom was the most important player on the team, and he said that he was lying. The long snapper was the most important player of the team.
Takes horizontal bounce. And it'll be dead right there. And will take over from their own 26. Cole needs a great shot. Right down with the snap. And getting the punt off under heavy pressure. Great job of acting, too. And Panthers up
7. Look, sport might not be the answer right now, but it teaches us this. That impossible challenges must be faced, and then the reward is joy. And now that sport is back, don't waste these chances. The opportunities will come, and we must be ready.
Chick-fil-A is for a game. My least favorite word is just. If ever you hear the word just, whatever comes behind it is not going to be somebody's A game. You never hear that at Chick-fil-A. It's in our DNA to do everything as best we can.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A stands for a higher standard for yourself in your store. And it's really natural to me to try and make connections with customers that are deeper than just, hi, how are you? Like, how's your family or how are your kids too? That really makes their day.
It's like a Snead here in Pittsburgh. Panthers took their first offensive drive downfield for a score. Offensive coordinator Mark Whipple hoping they can do just that in the second drive as they get set to take over from their own 26.
Yeah, it's Whipple's second year with this Pitt offense. And, he admitted this is a difficult offense with a lot of verbiage. It's an NFL-style offense. And you see right now, Kenny Pickett lining up under center the way that NFL quarterbacks do.
Going downfield, trying to find Shocky in the lead. He does. 25, 15, inside the 10, and just gets tripped up at the 6.
Set up in a max protect set. Kept two tight ends in the block, and Shocky Louis just had a one-on-one on the outside. Only two receivers had routes. When they saw Austin Peay bring a safety down, Louis got behind. Huge gain, great throw by Kenny Pickett.
He takes the corner, now Pickett's trying to get to the corner himself, dives to the pylon, and he gets there. a second successful run here in the first quarter. This time he finds Bader.
Yeah, this is exactly what this Pitt offense needs throughout the season. We talk about how infrequently they ran the ball last year. Again, a designed quarterback run freezes the outside linebacker with a little stutter step. But you see Kenny Pickett's speed, able to get to the corner, get to the edge, lays out, scores a great touchdown. That will only improve his passing game with that threat of being able to run on first and second down.
Cashman for the try, and he hits the uprights. Panthers up 14-0. Out there starting tight end Lucas Kroll, and Taylor Mack is out with injury in this game too. So Shock Louis with an opportunity. What a move.
Oh my gosh, all on the line of scrimmage. Belt move. He gave him a little shock and a little shock Louis right at field. That huge W, like that word, Chris.
That's what you call that move.
I like that.
The shock. We used to pick it with the score.
We used to call it the whoop wop because there's no name for all those moves.
It's whatever you want it to be. Whatever shocky jockey we wanted it to be there, you made it work. Coach Whipple and Coach Narduzzi both in our conversations this week said they have to run the football better. And running the football better obviously sets up the play action, and it's on that play.
You just look at what defenses ran against Pitt 2 years ago when they had those two 1,000-yard rushers. They were almost never in a cover two defense and everybody dropping back in zone. Last year they saw predominantly zone defense with nobody up on the line of scrimmage. So what running the ball early does is allows man-to-man coverage on the outside wide receivers, brings us to safety up the box, close plays just like you saw there.
Cashman takes it out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Every Saturday morning, the huddle with Jordan Cornett, Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, Mark Rick, getting ready for ACC football. A previous slate of games, keep you updated on all things ACC football. That Saturday's at 10 a.m. right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. And as we found out today already, first weekend of ACC football, there's a lot of breaking news early on in the day you don't want to miss. So tune into the huddle Saturday mornings. Ball now back to pass. Up top has a receiver open, and they connect. That's Harley. 25-20 inside the 20. A.J. Woods finally makes the stop, but not after a long game.
And right here, look at all the Pittsburgh defenders that are within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage. Jeremiah Oatsfall is experienced enough to see that and know that if he can step up in the pocket, he can get receivers open downfield. That's that man-to-man coverage on the outside that Shocky Lee took advantage of on the other side of the ball. This time, it equal Harley getting behind the defense.
Harley with a breather. C.J. Evans now flanking Oatsfall in the backfield. Oatsfall to 50 Evans. Out into the flat. Couldn't connect with Wilson.
D'Angelo Wilson, he is the guy. He missed the first game of the season, but he's back now, and a couple of targets on his way. But it's really interesting how the timing is off. Maybe it's because he did not play in that first game. But Jeremiah Oatsfall and D'Angelo Wilson need to get on the same page if they want to have a chance in this game.
Yeah, Coach Levin's talked about Wilson's catch radius much better than you might suspect from a player who's 5'9". Evans. Scoot outside. Just is there by Pitt. Those tackles, including John Morgan at linebacker spot.
Yeah, back at D'Angelo Wilson. Talk about the catch radius. Usually it's just the wingspan of your arm, how long you can reach outside. But what he's able to do is control his body in the air. He's able to manipulate his movements while he's going in the air, so that way he can extend that beyond just the reach of his arms. And he makes spectacular one-handed catches as well.
Third down and 10 for the Governors. Oatsfall the pass. Try to get it to Benico Harley. And he got hung up. With the defender at that time, is Jason Pinnock defending on the play for Pitt.
Yeah, Jason Pinnock, so physical at the beginning of this route. At the top of this route, he just is all over Benico Harley. And if Benico Harley decided to run a fade route, that would have been called pass interference. But because he stopped and turned around, the rest let it go. If you're an Austin Peay fan, you're not liking that call.
They would like, but it leads to 4th down. Graham Paulette now into kick for the Governor, trying to put Austin Peay State on the board. And he missed it left. So an opportunity goes by the wayside for Austin Peay. And the Panthers keep the Governors off the scoreboard.
And although they did not come away with points, still, to me, it's a good drive for Jeremiah Oates. It was the ability for him to complete another big pass. He finished the game last week with a couple of huge passes, one in particular to A.J. Parker to give him a little more confidence. And all these things will do in this abbreviated 3-game season they have right now is give Jeremiah Oates all the confidence going into the spring where they will play their full season. And that will grow this team immensely.
Kenny Pickett threw for 1,000 yards last year, completing 62% of his passes, but only 13 touchdowns. It's 9 interceptions. The end around. Really flipped that time to DJ Turner, transfer from Maryland. Nice pickup.
They really like DJ Turner. He's only been here for a week and 10 days, but he's learned this offense very quickly. He'll use him for plays like that, the little reverses, the pitches, and the screens on the outside.
This time Carter powers his way to the 1st down for Pittsburgh. Just who you got?
Kenny Pickett seems to be operating with total comfort right now. Mature. I spoke to him earlier this week. He says his ability this year to see the whole field, to understand the entire play and read the entire defense is better than it was a year ago. He also felt that this offense was much further along at this stage of this season than they were a year ago when they lost to Virginia and then lost to Penn State early in the season.
Pickett back to pass. Has Carter if he wants him. Goes out. He's wide open. He can make after the catch. Down like 2 defenders. Picks up about 5. Dale Jackson on the tackle. First time he mentions his name. Probably won't be the last today. Mark Hursley.
Yeah, Cordell Jackson, he's a consensus All-American from last year in the FCS. Great player, good tackler. He's the type of guy. He's only 5'9", 185. He had just a couple more inches on him. He would absolutely be playing for an FBS school and be a really top player in the FBS.
Involved on that tackle. Jordan Addison took the 1st down for Pitt. Pickett again back to pass. Dangerous look, trying to hit John Barzell. Actually a good job by the defensive back that time. Of course, Jackson for Austin Peay not lighting him up and getting a penalty called on him. He had the opportunity. Back in your day, might have been bad news for Barzell.
Oh, goodness, Barzell. Right there. Oh, my goodness. Yep.
I'll hang on here.
And honestly, I mean, to me, that's even a little bit high, but it wasn't forcible contact to the head. But
I mean, could have been.
That Reed was back there.
Yeah.
Night.
They didn't run those routes in the 70s and 80s. I mean, those routes didn't even exist.
That's why Chuck Cecil had a job. Daniel Carter carries this for a couple of yards.
And it's funny. That's what they taught quarterbacks all the time. Do not throw it deep down the field late. Deep down the field, middle of the field late. Because of that reason, it's either going to get an interception or you're going to get my wide receiver killed. With the new rules, it's a little more lenient. And right there, you saw people walk off the field, which is great.
3rd down and 8 for Pickett. Now he steps up, has a receiver wide open. And Turner will walk into the end zone.
As that play was developing, I saw DJ Turner at the top of the field just a second before Kenny Pickett saw him. I was wondering if he was going to get it out there, but such a good job. He had to move his feet and get off the spot. He stepped up, made a great play downfield for another touchdown.
Kessman once again for the point after try. And it is good. How did the transfer from Maryland, DJ Turner, get this wide open?
Well, they had a combination route on the outside, and they sent a couple guys upfield at the same time. And you see at the top of your screen, the safeties are down inside the box playing a cover 3, but as the corner comes up in a cover 3, you never want that to happen where the deep safety is also coming up. Really a blown coverage by Austin Peay. But the impressive part is that Kenny Pickett found him. Too often quarterbacks just don't happen to see that guy. That time he did. Great throw, easy catch, easy score.
And a big opportunity for these wideouts with the tight end Krull and Taysir Mack out with injuries today. So chances for DJ Turner, Shockey Jacques Louis, John Varzel. Shockey Jacques Louis with a touchdown earlier. DJ Turner gets his. Kessman high and deep once again out of the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Still around the rest of the ACC as we're getting started with the 2020 season. North Carolina, Syracuse, Mark. That game was close at Kenan Stadium, but Carolina blew them out here in the second half. Just underway after a lightning delay. Florida State's taken an early lead over Georgia Tech down in Tallahassee. After us, Western Kentucky and Louisville. And, of course, we got Clemson and Wake on ABC. And the Irish with a 10-6 lead early in South Bend over Duke.
Yeah, you don't really expect that Duke score to be so close. But remember, Chase Bryce, longtime backup at Clemson, is now their starting quarterback. Love to watch and see how well he's able to do under the quarterback guru, Dave Cutcliffe.
The tutelage of Coach Cutcliffe. Pass complete over the middle. Cam Bright with the stop. Picking about a 6-yard gain. Brandon Lanier on the receiving end.
Austin Peay had trouble with the passing game over the middle of the field for Central Arkansas in their first game. It's good to see them hammering those out. And to me, it's Jeremiah Oatsfall getting set in the pocket, stepping forward, planting on that front foot as he releases the ball. You haven't seen too many passes sail high, meaning he's throwing off his back foot.
Brian Snead in the backfield. Fake to him. Oatsfall gets hit as he throws. And just float incomplete. Under a minute left to go in this first quarter. A big play from Austin Peay in their last drive, but other than that, they really haven't been able to get anything going offensively, and now they're down 3 touchdowns.
No, big plays are what you're going to need to have, especially when you're an FCS team coming to play an FBS team. You can't turn the ball over, and you need to have some big plays, and we've obviously already seen the ball turned over once. But they need to capitalize on some of these big plays going forward.
Wilson's in the backfield along with Snead. Give to Snead and just nowhere to run. Elijah Cansey in there for Pitt. Big old number 92, Tyler Bentley.
Well, that's back-to-back plays where Elijah Cansey has made a difference, getting in the backfield. Pressure on the quarterback the first time, a huge tackle for loss. This guy's only a redshirt freshman. Got a lot of upside potential.
Haba Baldonado, the young man out of Rome, Italy. Banged up on the play. Coach he and Randy Bates would go to the farthest corners of the earth to find talent. Take a look at 87.
Yep, right there. Let's see if someone comes down on his ankle.
Oh, it's that left leg got caught under the pile.
Yeah. Don't want to speculate, but seems to be in a decent amount of pain right now.
This is a defensive line position that has more depth this year than it did a year ago until the COVID-19 or until today's dress roster was revealed. If you just joined us, Rashad Weaver, not dressed. Keyshawn Camp, defensive tackle, not dressed. Add to that, Jalen Twyman has opted out. Probably the highest ranked Pitt player in terms of the NFL. And so they're without 3 mainstays on the defensive front today, but it's still a unit that has more than serviceable parts.
Yeah, it's a good point, Q, in the fact that Rashad Weaver and Keyshawn Camp missed almost all of last year, both of them. And they were going to be healthy this year. You throw them in with Jalen Twyman and Patrick Jones. I mean, that defensive front, Mark, you could have stacked them up against any defensive line in the country.
I totally agree. And even Deslin Alexander, he had to step in last year with Rashad Weaver being down. And oh, by the way, he just only had 5.5 sacks. I mean, they can do a lot up front. And hopefully as these guys come back from illnesses, they are able to get back on this field and be a productive force in that offensive backfield as they were last year.
Opportunity for others to shine, including running backs Carter and the receiver Shockey Jacques Louis. Quarterback with a touchdown as well.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way.
On to slide 236, which covers line 45. We were at 62%, and then
The A in Chick-fil-A is for A game. My least favorite word is just. If ever you hear the word just, whatever comes behind it is not going to be somebody's A game. And you never hear that at Chick-fil-A. It's in our DNA to do everything as best we can.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A stands for a higher standard for yourself in your store. And it's really natural to me to try and make connections with customers that are deeper than just, hi, how are you? Like, how's your family or how are your kids, too? That really makes their day.
Start of the second quarter here in Pittsburgh. Austin Peay State facing a 4th and 3. So Cole Deeds back to punt. And Jordan Addison is back to receive this punt, the true freshman out of Maryland. High, short kick from Deed. Addison with the fair catch. He'll make it at his own 35, and Pitt will take over there.
Yeah, I can't believe Pitt got away with that. You see the two number 3s coming off the field, both in white jerseys. That's a common week 1 era. Double numbers. It usually shows up on special teams where one guy's a DB and the other's a receiver. These officials, too, also in week 1. But 2 number 3s, that is as a uniform penalty violation.
Well, I mean, as Mark Hertzlich used to say in his playing days, after throwing an elbow or maybe a little malfeasance under the pile, it's only a penalty if you get caught, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. Accepted penalties are the one that counts. Non-called penalties definitely don't count.
Vincent Davis in the backfield, end around here. This is Addison, the freshman, showing his wheels. He'll pick up the first down near midfield.
It's really interesting to see what Mark Whipple is doing right now with Jordan Addison, because so many balls have been in his hands in this game. I got to imagine they're trying to see how he can conduct himself throughout the entire game, especially when he's gassed. They want to know how he can perform when he's tired.
Addison spins out of one tackle, picks up about 1.5 yards. We want to welcome those who are watching Florida State and Georgia Tech over on ABC. They have a weather delay down in Tallahassee. Chris Cotter, Mark Hertzlich, and Quinn Kesnick here in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. Pitt with the early offensive explosion in the first quarter, putting up 21 points with a 3-score lead over Austin Peay State out of the Ohio Valley Conference.
And those of you who are used to seeing Pitt throw the ball last year, it has been on the ground. They've had 12 runs and only 7 passes to start this game.
Pickett back to pass on this play. Plenty of time, and has a receiver. Just goes down and get it. That's DJ Turner, who already has a long catch for a touchdown earlier in this game. 51 yards for the transfer from Maryland.
And you think that off seasons are wild and crazy and things are going fast. Only being here for 10 days. DJ Turner's already making a difference with this offense. And obviously a quick learner in this Mark Whipple NFL-style pass game.
Addison again gets a block on the screen. Inside the 20, wrestled out of bounds at about the 17. Kobe Perry on the stop for the Governors. That looks like the defensive end, Hava Baldonado, who's shaken up in the last defensive series for the Panthers. That is bad news for a Pitt team. It's already thin on that defensive front today. Vincent Davis on the carry, gets it inside the 11-yard line, close to the 10. It'll be first down and 10 again for Pitt. You mentioned there's struggles in the red zone last year. inability to really get a power running game together. They did score in their first trip inside the red zone today. See what they can do here. Pickett looks the other way. Can't hook up with his receiver that time. Jacques Louis with a big catch in the first quarter.
He had a drop pass, and you see Jacques Louis pointed his chest saying, "That was me." And gosh, if I'm the quarterback, yeah, I know it was you. I know it was you. But something that obviously has plagued Pitt last year was the drop passes. That one not as much of a difference maker. And we'll see if now, second down, they put the ball back on the ground. They're going in the air.
Vincent Davis out of the backfield. Defender misses a tackle inside the 5. Dives to the pylon, and he makes it. Touchdown, Panthers. Well, Mark, they are having their way right now offensively. Coach Whipple, the offensive coordinator, mixing passing and running, and it's working out perfectly for the Panthers.
And they established the run early in the first couple series in the red zone. Now they're going to the pass game, swinging out to the running back. Let's see if he steps out of bounds. It was close on where the ball is.
Yeah, they're reviewing it as they do on all scores, and it looks like his foot may have been out of bounds. The left foot, I think, Mark.
Yeah, the left foot right as it plants right now. I still see green grass in between that white line and that white shoe. But at the very end, when that toe points in the ground, let's see as he flexes his toe.
That's too hard to tell whether it's out, do you think? Got drilled by Nate Page right at the pylon.
And funny, the only thing that I can see is a little bit of the white grass fly up off the ground. And it'll be interesting to see how it is called by these referees, because obviously you need inconclusive evidence, and it's called a touchdown on the field as the ball clearly passes the pylon if that foot is not considered out. But let's just go back big picture. Mark Whipple, start this season off, so much criticism in the offseason about not running the ball, about relying so heavily on the pass game, and he admitted the communication between himself and his running coordinator, the all-line coach, Dave Borbley, just wasn't good last year. They didn't connect because they didn't know each other, and now they know each other better, and there's going to be much more of a mesh between run-pass the way this offense is set up.
From that angle, it looks like the foot's out of bounds, don't you think? But it's just a totally different way of looking at it. From the sideline angle, it looked like he stayed in bounds. Vincent Davis, if it counts, it's a 10-yard touchdown reception.
They're showing it up on the big screens here with no fans, and from my angle, they haven't shown us a view that says he was definitely out of bounds.
Right. Rusty Acree is our replay official on the day. He's taking a good look at it. There's Coach Narduzzi. Wanted a targeting call that time on Nate Page when he hit Vincent Davis right as he got to the pylon. I think he's going to get that one.
No, but as this play is being reviewed, they're going to look at everything. And let's see the crown of the helmet just duck down right there.
The runner's left foot touched out of bounds, and the ball was at the 1-yard line. Therefore, the ball will be placed at the 1. It will be third down. The clock will start on my signal.
Jerry Magallanes, the referee, explaining the call, much to the chagrin of Coach Narduzzi. It'll be third down and goal from the 1.
One benefit of the mask is that you can't read lips very well. He has his mask pulled down. I think you could all tell what he just said there.
Even if he had his mask up, we'll leave it to the imagination. I'm sure your imagination can run wild as to what do you think he's saying. Fiery individual, Coach Narduzzi. So much success as a defensive coordinator at Michigan State. Here in his 6th season at Pitt.
This is where Pitt will lean on their pretty experienced offensive line. They bring back 4 starters this season. Their best offensive lineman is their center, Jimmy Morrissey, 2-time captain, number 67.
With their big fullback in the game, Jake Galinskas, lead the way.
Davis looking to pick his way into the end zone, and he finds a way in. Now the Panthers extend that lead to 4 scores.
Vincent Davis didn't make it through the air, but he got it on the ground. And what you're seeing is constant use of certain players over and over and over again. One thing that Pat Narduzzi was concerned about was the amount of time they had in the offseason to condition. And this is one way you can do in-game conditioning to keep guys in the entire series, give them the ball multiple times in a row to get their conditioning and their level of endurance up.
Kessman with the try, splits the uprights. 28-0. Pitt on top, doing it through the air and doing it on the ground. Vincent Davis with the score. All Panthers.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A is for available. We can serve you in the drive-thru. We can deliver your food to your house. We have delivery partners, and we have our own delivery system. Home can be wherever you choose. You don't need to go anywhere else. On Sunday, maybe, but that's about it.
The A in Chick-fil-A stands for a connection. Having the opportunity to have a positive connection with the guest, I think is really cool. It is kind of a fun challenge to try to make that person's day. I don't know, it just makes life better. Like, why not?
Can't wait to tell everyone about AT&T's big 5G news.
AT&T has nationwide 5G?
Yep.
And that's faster?
Faster, yeah.
But is it reliable?
Uh-huh, and secure.
You should consider making a big deal about it.
Bigger?
I said bigger.
Oh, bigger deal, bigger than what I'm doing.
It's not complicated. A 5G network needs a 5G device. Now everyone, including existing customers, can get a free Samsung Galaxy Note 20 after trade-in.
4 possessions, 4 touchdowns, 4 different players. Panthers spreading out the wealth, and a balanced attack for Pitt today, too.
Yeah, balanced, and you look at the passing yards, obviously there's a couple big plays, but the consistency on the ground is all started by this offensive line up front. Jimmy Morris, he's a guy with the C on his chest, 5th-year senior. He is the leader, calls out protection, but you look to his left, you got Bryce Hargrove and Carter Warren, 2 guys who are returning starters, and real force on this offensive line.
Jay Parker returns it for the Governors out to the 26. Let's hear from some of those Pitt captains.
Hey, Mom. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Dad. What's up? What you doing? Hey, Mom. What you doing? I got voted captain again.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy for you.
Look at this. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Proud of you.
Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it, Dad.
Proud of you, boy.
Yo, believe it, man. ACC champs on 3. 1, 2, 3. ACC!
You saw Patrick Jones, the second. There he is now on the field. One of the 2 defensive captains, along with DeMar Hamlin. Snead on the carry for Austin Peay State, and he picks up a yard.
And that's something really cool that Pat Narduzzi did for his captains, where they usually have a banquet during the spring to announce the captains before the season. They couldn't have that this year because of COVID-19. They had all the players call their moms and tell them that they were named captain, and just some really cool conversations.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett's mom drove all the way here from New Jersey today just to give him a hug.
Jimmy Morrissey, as you mentioned, the center, all ACC, one of the 4 captains on this team. Oatsfall out into the flat. That's Benico Harley. Give him about 7 on the play to bring up 3rd and short. Austin Peay really needs to get a sustained drive right now, don't they? Their defense has just been on the field, and they've been getting mauled lately.
They have, and right now it looks like they might be going no huddle, which to me is not what you want to do if your defense is suck and win. But 3rd down and 1. You got to look at Brian Snead, or 3rd down and 2. Look for Brian Snead, big number 4 in the backfield. He's an off-tackle runner.
Oatsfall in the gun. He'll look to throw. Pressure coming on the edge, and he'll be dropped. Pitt team that led the nation in sacks per game last year, they get to Oatsfall here.
And Patrick Jones is the guy, he's returning. He had 8.5 sacks last year. His ability to use his hands getting off the ball. Austin Peay kept Brian Snead in to just chip him, to put 2 men on him. And you see, as Cam Bright flushed Jeremiah Oatsfall right into Patrick Jones's lap.
Say the clock is ticking pretty fast for Oatsfall. I mean, that was 1,001, 1,002, and the world just collapsed around him from all different angles.
Patrick Jones, he's a guy that started last season 5th on the depth chart. went into training camp not knowing if he was even going to play. And then with the injuries to Keyshawn Camp, Rashad Weaver, he was put in the fire, and boy did he shine. And he walked out of that fire glowing, being an all-ACC player.
Patrick Jones is second in this Pitt defense, pitching a shutout so far.
When I was in high school, this was a theater I came to quite often. Well, your friends, they came.
The support we've had over the last 2 months has been amazing.
It's not just a work environment. Everyone here is family.
If you are ready to open your heart and your home, check us out.
We thought for sure that we were done, and this town said not today.
Hey, my name is Dante, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nuggets is the authentic taste of it. You can tell it's freshly breaded, seasoned perfectly, and it just has this unique taste that compares to no other. Once I bite into it,
My name is Meredith, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese is the oven-toasted, cheesy top layer. If home had a flavor, it would be Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese. I'm passionate about it.
This Panther defense and big-time NFL defensive end prospect Patrick Jones II. There you see him with the C on his shoulder, Mark. They're playing well today.
Yeah, and he played well all last year. We mentioned him coming into the year as really an unknown, and all he did was wreak havoc in the backfield, consistently got around the edge, and then later in the year used his aggression around the edge and his speed to counter back inside. He has developed a lot of great techniques up front. And watching him and Jalen Twyman last year and talking to both of them about how they developed their pass rush skills was really impressive.
8.5 sacks last year for Patrick Jones. Also forced 4 fumbles, leading this team in that category.
And you talk to both of them, Jalen Twyman and Patrick Jones, and they got a lot of tutelage from Aaron Donald when he would come back in the offseason or even when they were just right next to each other in their facilities to teach them little pass rush moves as they passed by at the lunch tables.
Cole Deeds back to punt once again for the Govs. Jordan Addison to return for Pitt. Good punt by Deeds. Will send Addison back to his 30. Fair catch. No flag on the play. That's where Pitt will take over. Mark, you won the Disney Spirit Award, didn't you? Take a look at that. What year is that? That's 2009.
2009, 11 years ago. And I won that as I battled through Ewing sarcoma, and then guy who we all remember and know very well right now, James Conner, and his fight through cancer, and really his ability to come back and just have absolutely phenomenal years for the Steelers. Continue that success. And there's a guy right there, Randy Bates. He had his battle with tonsil cancer last year and really kept it secret to everyone in the outside world. Within the Pitt football walls, they knew. But he was diagnosed after finding a small lump on his throat. Coach Pat Narduzzi encourages all his players to get physicals before the season started. And in that physical, they found a small lump which led to x-rays and PET scans, and ended up having to have surgery to remove his tonsils and 51 lymph nodes. Underwent radiation treatments and immunotherapy, and on December 14th last year, he was able to announce to his team after a 7-month battle that he was cancer-free. And the emotion that was on his face as he talked about how the players lifted him up when he was in some of his darkest days, and they would put a hand on his shoulder and just say, "Coach, we got you. We got you. You're going to be okay." And he was very fortunate to have UPMC Hillman Cancer Center right down the street, and he thanked their medical staff, and most importantly, he thanked his wife, Tracy, who was his rock during his entire treatment process and his return back to this team.
Yeah, he's in his 3rd year here as a defensive coordinator on Coach Narduzzi's staff. And in closing about this, Mark, he said, "I came to Pitt to be a defensive coordinator, but in reality, I came to Pitt to save my life because of what the UPMC Hillman Center meant to him in his cancer treatments." He did get emotional in talking about it earlier this week. Glad he is doing well, and his defense is doing well today, as is this Pitt running game. They were searching for it all year last year. And you might say, well, they got 10 ACC games coming up after this one. It'll be a little bit more difficult, clearly, to run the football in those games. But at least they're getting a bunch of backs involved, and they're moving the football on the ground.
Yeah, you're getting real live experience for these backs. Some of them haven't had that many carries. Guy right here, you know, you got 21, Vincent Davis, who is a guy that didn't get a lot of carries on the ground. He was a lot of swing passes out of the backfield last year, and now he's understanding the blocking scheme that this offensive line is putting out.
Vincent Davis on the carry that time. Scored a touchdown in the last Pitt possession. You can see he's a little more diminutive at 5'8", 175.
And you see him calling to the sideline, hey, I need a break. Coach Whipple said, no, you stay in there.
And we haven't even seen the true freshman, Izzy Abanikanda, out of New York, who they're very excited about. We may not see him today. Pressure comes up the middle. Pickett rolls out as a receiver wide open. That's right, and he drops it. And that's going to drive Whipple and Narduzzi crazy. He had a surefire touchdown. And he's a tight end who's getting his opportunity today because Lucas Kroll is out with the injury.
Yeah, and he's more of a blocking tight end, but you see him wide open, all the way behind. And the amount of time that it feels like for him that the ball is floating in the air is exponential. I mean, he's just sitting there, please come down, please come down, please don't drop it, please don't drop it. And the last thing he heard his mind tell himself was drop it, and he dropped it.
And he let it get to his body too, right off the chest plate.
Oh, there's number 2.
There he is. There's Izzy Abanikanda. Pitt fans are going to be wanting to see what this young man can do. Coach Narduzzi was so excited about him in our meetings during the week. He spent about 20 minutes trying to find the video on his computer. He's like, wait a minute, I got to show this to you guys. His vision is cut back, his acceleration through the hole.
It was an impressive play, but it did take about 20 minutes of us trying to ask him questions and him half paying attention.
He just couldn't go on without showing it. That's how excited he is about Izzy.
Izzy is from Brooklyn, New York, recruited by Tim Salem. Coach Salem told me earlier today that he texted him basically every day from the time he was a sophomore to the time he graduated from Lincoln High School in Brooklyn. He said, you know, growing up in New York City, he feels comfortable here in Pittsburgh. There's a certain grit to the Big Apple. That grit exists here in Pittsburgh, and he watched Izzy win a lot of track meets as well. He's a 2-sports star from the New York City area.
Defensive holding on that pass. Be an automatic first down for Pitt. Lincoln High School, and who else? Did Sebastian Telfair, I think, went to Lincoln. Either Sebastian Telfair or Stephon Marbury, one of those two. I think it was Sebastian Telfair. Somebody will correct me.
If not here, in their minds, they will at home.
No, if they're doing it in their minds at home, they will find a way to do it.
So the 2 running backs set in again, bringing their fullback.
There's Izzy. Hurdles his way over that initial surge and picks up 3.
And that's a change of pace. That's reminiscent of what Pitt looked like in 2018. With 2 backs in the backfield running downhill. Isolation blocked by the fullback. You need to sprinkle that in every now and then to keep these linebackers honest.
Pitt moving quickly, too. Addison. Nice play by the defender to shake it.
For a season opener, Chris, this team is really organized. I mean, they've been super clean on offense. Faster tempo than a year ago. No pre-snap fouls. Everybody's in the right place. They had a walkthrough last Friday at their indoor facility, and then they just toured this facility yesterday for the first time. But this team is sharp for an opener.
Yeah, very few penalties, no turnovers. Pickett quickly over the middle. Complete to Addison. Joe Vassell on the stop. Addison's getting a lot of work. He has to replace Maurice French, who had 96 catches last year at that slot spot.
Well, the pace he's going on right now, he might pass him because it seems like every single ball is going to that young man in the slot.
Izzy to the goal line. Did he get in? He does. Touchdown for the freshman from Brooklyn.
There is a flag down on the far side of the field. Could be a formation penalty.
Judging by Pickett's reaction.
Illegal shift, offense. 2 players moved and did not completely get set. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Bring it back 5 yards. It'll still be first and goal. But they'll scrimmage from the 10. Let's see if Coach Whipple and Narduzzi keep Izzy Abanikanda in. Try and maybe get him his first career touchdown first of what they hope is many. Gives on the delay to Abanikanda. He'll score standing up.
You see everybody coming over and giving him a little slap on the head saying, great job. You love when you see guys who come into training camp, come into spring ball, and they work hard and then they have success. And for a freshman like Abanikanda, what the coaches raved about was his consistency. He put his head down, he worked, and he just grinded. And he worked on his craft day in and day out. He's a guy that the coaches said, come 2 or 3 years, he'll be a leader of this team.
Senior Kessman on once again for the PAT. It is good. And the Panthers extend their lead. The freshman from New York City, Izzy Abanikanda, joins the party. All Panthers so far.
This is when I was in high school, this was a theater I came to quite often. Well, your friends, they came.
The support we've had over the last 2 months has been amazing.
It's not just a work environment. Everyone here is family.
If you are ready to open your heart and your home, check us out.
We thought for sure that we were done, and this town said not today.
The A in Chick-fil-A is for A game. My least favorite word is just. If ever you hear the word just, whatever comes behind it is not going to be somebody's A game. And you never hear that at Chick-fil-A. It's in our DNA to do everything as best we can.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A stands for a higher standard for yourself and your store. And it's really natural to me to try and make connections with customers that are deeper than just, hi, how are you? Like, how's your family or how are your kids, too? That really makes their day.
Congratulations to the freshman, Israel Abanikanda, scoring his first career touchdown here in a Pitt uniform. Coach Narduzzi and Whipple and company hope it's the first of many. Pitt, 5 different touchdowns, 5 different players. They've really spread it out. One through the air, 4 on the ground. It's been a very successful debut for this 2020 Panther team. Parker trying to slide his way through, get out to about the 27-yard line. Get the latest news and information from the ACC each morning with special guests from around the world of sports. It's Packer and Durham, beginning at 7 a.m. Eastern on the ACC network, then on the ESPN app. West getting set to begin double duties. He, of course, is the radio voice of the Atlanta Falcons. One more week where he isn't calling the college football game. Dave Neal called that game up in North Carolina earlier today. West back in Atlanta. Dave was a last-minute fill, and I know he was at Ansley Golf Course getting ready to tee it up. Hey, Dave, put the clubs up. Got to have you go to Chapel Hill. Could be worse. Could have to go to a lot worse places.
Got to think Austin Peay is going to start to try to feed the ball to D'Angelo Wilson. Down a huge amount of points. Let's get some reps to your big receiver.
Oatsville tried to hit Wilson. They haven't been in sync today.
No, into that route right there, credit to Mar Hamlin. He lined up in the slot directly over D'Angelo Wilson, and he got hands on the receiver within the first 5 yards, which is completely legal. Threw off the timing route. Oatsville had to pull the ball down for a second and then overthrew his receiver.
Second down and 10 now for Oatsville and the Governors. Harley in motion. Will take the handoff. Can't escape the pursuit. Nice job that time by Savasier Dennis.
Third and long's an opportunity for Pat Narduzzi and his defense to dial up some blitzes. They love to bring the heat. They play press man on the outside. And Patrick Jones is worth keeping an eye on. Mark, you referenced him earlier. His 4-point stance, his get-off is elite. I mean, he is so quick off the ball. You break down his tape, his ability to duck under defensive tackles who don't bend well and turn the corner stands out. I spoke to Patrick this week. He said he's just grateful to be playing real football this fall.
They line up in man-to-man coverage. Look for a blitz coming from the top of your screen.
Harley in motion, a whistle on the play. We need to delay a game here.
Delay a game, offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
One thing about Patrick last year, 8.5 sacks, but more than that, he created 32 incompletions. You think about that. He's a senior now from Chesapeake, Virginia. His dad was in the Navy for 30 years. He grew up in Japan and Italy, where he played basketball and soccer. Credits those sports for really helping his foot speed and his coordination.
Again, Harley in motion on 3rd and 12. Oatsvall underneath, hits Harley, but he had to go down and get it. So he wasn't able to keep his footing, and he'll bring up 4th down again.
Even though that wasn't a first down completion, I'm impressed with Jeremiah Oatsvall. A delay a game happened. He saw the pressure coming from the top of the field. That same pressure was called again, and he replaced the pressure with the football and hit his wide receiver. Those are the type of routes that's not going to show up as first downs right now, but those will give him confidence going forward. Another big stop by Pitt State.
Let's see if the referees can spot the duplicate numbers by Pitt on the field right now.
We have duplicate 3s again. Both DeMar Hamlin and Jordan Addison are on the field. Addison, a fair catch from his own 31. No flags.
So they're standing right next to each other. So here's the deal. When Pitt goes punt safe, both guys are on the field. Somebody figure it out. Help us out.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way.
On to slide 236, which covers line 45. We were at 62%, and then I'm...
With YouTube TV, the TV you love is always on. We're talking 85 plus channels, hit shows on demand, and unlimited space to record all your favorites. It's the best DVR and channel lineup in 2020. With up to 6 accounts for the home, you can watch what you love and love how you watch it. YouTube TV. Try it free.
Just under 3.5 to play here in this first half. Pittsburgh Panthers up 35-0. They're playing so well, it appears that their players are splitting in half on the field. 2 number 3s here as we see them coming off the field on that last punt return. And it isn't the first time today they've both been on the field at the same time.
No, they're not really trying to hide it very well either. So that first screen, that's why they're supposed to be. One on the bench, one on the field.
Hamlin and Addison both on punt return. Now going up top. Pickett finds his man. Inside the 10. Inside the 5. To the pylon.
Oh, the 1-yard line.
Out at the 1-yard line.
Jalen Barden, another true freshman at wide receiver. When we asked Mark Whipple to describe him with one word, they said speed. He is an absolute burner, and from that inside position, great post route and stuck his foot in the ground at the top of that break and used that speed to get behind the defender. What's more impressive, yeah, they'll review where he went out. But what's, I think, even more impressive is Kenny Pickett putting the ball perfectly in stride.
Catch, and the runner was out at the 1-yard line. The previous play is under further review.
It's a touchdown, young fella. Going to be a touchdown.
Closer look at it.
Is that a first reception touchdown?
Yeah, first catch, first touchdown. 68 yards if they can overturn it and reverse it to a score. Right now, the call on the field was out of bounds at the 1.
So inbounds.
Rusty Acree and company. Now, where was the ball? That's the key. Does the ball fly over the pylon, or does it go out of bounds before that ball gets to over the top of the pylon? This might be a good look at it. There's the ball. His feet are in bounds. Where's the ball?
Yeah, I think the ball's over the pylon.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called.
Oh, wow.
They didn't think they had enough evidence to overturn it, Mark.
It's a huge disagreement happening.
If you
right
had
now.
a camera right on top of the pylon that you look directly down on it, you might be able to see it.
Another example of first down play action this year from Mark Whipple. They get the running game going, and all of a sudden, first down. They're taking some shots. They've been successful. First down play action.
They've had pass completions of 68 yards twice and 51 yards today.
And Quint, the only reason that play action can work is because the run game is also working for Pitt.
Todd Sibley Jr. now, the tailback for the Panthers. He'll score easily. Jr. from nearby Akron, Ohio. Puts it in. And I have a feeling a lot of Panthers are going to find the end zone today. 6th different Panther to score a touchdown today. Number 71 in front of that played Bryce Hargrove. Nice block by Shockey Jacques Jones, the receiver on the outside. Springing Todd Sibley. Kessman adding to his point total. 4th-year starter, the senior. Gives Pitt the 42-0 lead here still in the first half. These bridges that span the Allegheny River, Fort Duquesne Bridge, and further up the river is the Roberto Clemente Bridge. And on Thursday, it was Roberto Clemente Day here in Pittsburgh. All the Pittsburgh Pirates wore number 21. Clemente is such a legend, not only here in Pittsburgh and not only in the country, but certainly in his home of Puerto Rico. And remember, in 1974, got his 3,000th hit right at the end of the season, and then took a flight from Puerto Rico to Nicaragua to provide hurricane relief. And the plane crashed shortly after takeoff from Puerto Rico. And we lost Roberto Clemente, and his legend has only grown since that day. Number 21, a revered number here in Pittsburgh. Parker on the return, tries to scoot outside, is brought down nicely that time by number 25 and number 14, Marquise Williams. Pitt's had 6 offensive possessions. They've scored on all 6 of them. Some of them quickly. Some of them they've been able to grind it out.
Look at those drives. I mean, when you look at the amount of plays that are on these scoring drives, obviously the 2 drives are just 2 plays with big ones, but 10-play drive, a 7-play drive, an 11-play drive. This is getting Pittsburgh's offense ready for next week, for when they're going to have to be consistently drive down the field against Syracuse.
John Morgan got to the quarterback on that play, but I believe they're going to blow it dead. Final 2.5 of this first half, it's just been all Pitt. Coach Narduzzi waiting an explanation.
Illegal formation offense. 5 players are in the backfield. The penalties decline. Second down.
It was so easy for John Morgan to get into that backfield. There was no one there to stop him and prevent him from getting there.
And you look at Marquise Lovings, and what can his players get out of this game right now? Obviously, you're down 42-0. You're playing an FBS school, but you really got to focus on the little things right now. You can still execute. You can still get confidence in certain plays, and that way when they come out next week versus a really good Cincinnati team, they will go into that game with confidence. You can't look at the scoreboard. You just got to play one play at a time. And really, as we said earlier, Marquise Lovings looks at this as almost a preseason in the NFL. It's getting ready to understand what live football feels like, so that way when you reach your season that's scheduled to start in the spring, you'll be ready to go.
Yeah, this is a Austin Peay team that has played only 3 games this fall. They've already played 1, a loss to Central Arkansas in the opener. And they'll play today against Pitt, next Saturday at Cincinnati, and that's their fall season.
as of right now.
Correct.
Who knows what happens with scheduling down the line.
Coach Narduzzi wants to call a timeout.
Timeout. They're first of the half. Pitt. 30-second timeout.
Yeah, when you think about the OVC, 3 teams are playing games this fall. Jack State is playing 1. Eastern Kentucky's playing 8. And this Austin Peay team is playing 3. Coming up at the half, we're going to send you to studio, talk about Kenny Pickett's big day. We're going to take a look around the rest of the ACC. A couple of games in progress. We've got at least one final from earlier on in the day, and a couple more still to go. Jordan Cornette, E.J. Manuel, and company, the crew, back in studio for our halftime report just around the corner. I mentioned the OVC. Mark, it has to be an advantage for the 3 teams that are playing games this fall. When you just look at Austin Peay themselves, everybody else is waiting till next spring to play, and Austin Peay will join them, but they get 3 live action games. It gets really good competition to work on things.
It's absolutely an advantage as long as everyone stays healthy. That's the biggest concern, is that you're going to have some sort of injury that's going to take a key player out for your actual season. But so far, they've been pretty good about staying healthy, and you're right, they're playing really good competition that is only going to set the standard even higher for what their performance should be once the season starts.
Nico Harley in motion, the fake to him. Quarterback will keep it, and Oatsfall doesn't get very far. Brought down by Patrick Jones, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Patrick Jones is smiling to himself as he comes off the field, and he should be smiling. He has been nothing but a leader on this defense. And it's funny, you heard him talk, spoke to him a little bit. He's a quiet guy. He's not a big talker, but he does his talking with his play on the field.
DJ Turner now back to return the punt for Pitt. He's number 9. Guess what? They got another 9 on the field.
Come on,
I'm telling you, they got 2 number 9s on the field. And this comedy of errors with the double numbers continues.
Again, it's only a comedy of errors if you get caught. It's not an error if you don't get caught, right? No flag. Still, no flag. Get double numbers and no flag. And that was a different return man. We've had Jordan Addison returning punts all game long, and they decided to put DJ Turner in to return a punt.
Which he did at Maryland when he was there. He is a punt returner. He is a guy that can take handoffs in the backfield. Explosive player.
He's electric in the phone booth. I mean, he is really difficult to tackle in small areas. He's got great separation quickness.
32 seconds left in this first half. New player at quarterback, Davis Bevel, freshman out of Greenville, South Carolina for the Panthers. He hands it to Todd Sibley. Here's a look at Bevel, 6'5", 220-pound freshman, redshirt freshman.
Bevel's never played in a college game before. This is his first college. That was his first college, not his first college pass. Hey there.
Hit his receiver. That's number 85. Garrett Pickard. Clock stops with 7 seconds left to go, and Narduzzi's going to keep Bevel in, eschewing the long field goal. See what his own quarterback can do. Bevel to the sideline.
It's a good throw. It was a good throw, good catch.
Go Pickett. He's holding up 3 fingers, Coach Narduzzi.
Kmar Mimes with the reception. Narduzzi does want to kick it. So he puts his redshirt freshman in there situationally to try and get Kessman, who has a cannon for a leg, into the game to attempt what'll be a 42-yard kick. He has 8 kicks of 50-plus yards in his career, so this is practically a chip shot. Plenty of distance. Did he hook it left? He did.
That's why they called to put the field goal kicker out, because just like anything else right now, they need to practice field goal protection, operation, and kick, and that one's one that Kessman's going to learn from.
Probably the only disappointing thing to happen in this first half for the Pitt Panthers. Getting 6 different touchdowns, 6 different players. Our score 42-0. Let's head to the studio for our halftime report. Here's Jordan Cornette and E.J. Manuel. Welcome back to ACC football on the ACC Network. Halftime here, getting set to kick off for the second half. Pitt with a 42-0 lead over Austin Peay State. Coming to Heinz Field out of the Ohio Valley Conference. Alongside Mark Hertzlick, I'm Chris Cotter. Both teams have mutually agreed to have 10-minute quarters. So we'll have a 10-minute third quarter, a 10-minute fourth quarter in the situation where it's been a Pitt runaway from the start. And a big reason why is the quarterback play as we expected from Kenny Pickett. He was outstanding in that first half.
Yeah, he already has over 250 yards in the air, threw for a touchdown. But I think the big story is Pitt run game. If they've been able to run the ball on the ground, Kenny Pickett did a great job running. And what that does is able to set up these long passes. Pitt was not able to complete a ton of long passes down the field last year. There were a lot of short, quick passes. But this run game by Kenny Pickett and the rest of this offense has opened up wide open receivers down the field.
Yeah, we mentioned at the start, Pitt does have 7 players that are not dressed because of COVID-related issues. Not among them are 2 receivers. Lucas Kroll, the starting tight end, and Taysir Mack, who was the returning big play receiver for them, were just injured. They're dressed and they're playing today, but they're just hurt.
Each team has agreed to play the third and fourth period, 10 minutes each.
Our referee, Jerry Magdalenas, letting us all know about that mutual agreement. So to finish that point, Mark, now you have a lot of other receivers that have had an opportunity to step up, including Shockey Jacques-Louis, DJ Turner we saw there in the halftime highlight with a touchdown catch. Jordan Addison's been exactly as advertised as a true freshman.
Yeah, another guy, Jalen Barton, another true freshman at that wide receiver spot, who maybe isn't at that same level right now as Jordan Addison, but he showed that he has quickness and speed to get behind the defenders on that huge catch play down the end of the half.
DJ Turner with the second half kick return. Here are our halftime stats, and you see Pitt balanced, getting some big plays in the passing game, but certainly controlling the clock and control. Look at the first downs, 18-3. You really had the one big passing play from Austin Peay. Other than that, the defense has been unbelievable for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and the only reason you look at time of possession and they're even close is because every single time Austin Peay's huddling up, regaining their composure, letting their guys take a deep breath, they're just not as deep. They didn't travel as many guys as Pitt brought to this game. So 10-minute quarters seem to make sense to me.
Joey Yellen in at quarterback for Pitt. Redshirt freshman from Mission Viejo, California. Send it down to Q. What do you got, Quinn?
Well, it's a wonderful opportunity, Chris, for these Pitt players who have endured the training camp and all the unknowns, the Pac-12 canceling, the Big Ten. The guys told me they were walking on eggshells through the month of July and then into August. And to finally have a game and then to get to play if you're a second or third stringer is big news. Pat Narduzzi telling us this week that he spent the majority of training camp just talking about discipline, telling his guys they had to behave, really extolling to them the importance of sacrifice for the good of the team, that if you get sick, it puts the whole team in peril, that if you get sick, it puts your position in peril. And so far for Pitt, today has been an ideal start to the season. They'll get to play a lot of people here as kind of a reward for doing the right things in the month of August.
There's Coach Narduzzi. We got a timeout on the field and the injured governor as the staff continues to look at the player. We get a number on that.
Coach Narduzzi talked to his team and said, you really have to earn the right to play in September. A lot of times you mean just by depth chart and position, but this was the entire team. You have to earn the right through your responsibility to even have football. They've gotten this far. They're playing a game, and they are looking good. Obviously, their opponent isn't up to what they're going to see later in this season, but as he said, at least they're playing football.
Good to see starting linebacker Jack McDonald walking off under his own power for Austin Peay State. Daniel Carter carried on first down, picked up about 5. It's a good look at Joey Yellen. Yellen now flushed out of the pocket. He fumbles the football. And luckily, Blake Subovic was there to fall on it. Josephus Smith is an interesting story in his own right. Got there to knock the ball loose.
Yeah, Josephus Smith is a guy who's a preseason All-Ohio Valley Conference. His height and weight is astonishing. He's 5'9", 290 pounds. And when we asked, there he is, almost getting up too to knock a pass down. He's got a little hops to him. But when we asked the coach, what does 5'9", 290 look like?
It looks like me after quarantine. That's what it looks like.
Well, he said he looks like a mini fridge.
He does leg work, unlike you, Cotter.
That's a lie.
And he's got leverage on everybody.
Well,
I mean, everybody.
And
Here he is trying to get up. Oh, he would have knocked it down, and he timed his jump a little better.
That's not a bad vertical. That's not a bad vertical. But not only that, he is a great player, a great leader. He has 2 daughters, Skylar and Madison, and he's a fantastic dad. Has had to spend a little bit of time away from the team just to be with his family.
Christodoulou with his first punt of the night, and it's a good one. Sending Jay Parker back. Parker's like the Josephus Smith is 5'9", 285. Parker is 5'5", 149. Diametrically opposed. Right now, Governor's got to get something going.
Can't wait. Still driving the old model, huh?
Yeah, I've been looking, but I just need someone to tell me what a good price is.
Just use Auto Trader. It's the only one with Kelley Blue Book. It tells you if the price is good.
Hey, how's she doing that with the door? What is she, some sort of goddess?
Athena.
Persephone?
Hera.
Dionysus?
No, I'm Claire.
Is that one?
No clue.
Ugh.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way.
On to slide 236, which covers line 45. We were at 62%. And then
Teachers Week is an annual effort led by the College Football Playoff Foundation to bring college football together to support and celebrate teachers across the country. Thanks to the College Football Playoff, ESPN is honored to donate $20,000 this week to help support teachers and their students. To learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers, follow at CFP Extra Yard. Governor's back at it. That's Oatsfall. Tried to take it himself, and he'll pick up maybe a yard. Jason Pinnock was there to bring him down. Oatsfall, you can tell by even just his body language, it's been a frustrating day for him.
Yeah, it has, and he was hoping to get a little bit of confidence back throughout this game. Obviously a very difficult opponent. But with that injury he sustained last year in the second game of the season, a Liz Frank injury on his foot, just to see him pull the ball down and run a little bit, get that confidence with his legs, should be good for going into next week, but also the following season in the spring.
2 backs flanking Oatsfall, both go out in the passing pattern. He tried to get it again to Benico Harley, deflected at the line of scrimmage, falls incomplete.
Now you got to deal, Mark, with this Pitt package. So they're bringing some designated pass rushers, all sorts of exotic coverages, and stunts and twists. Really a pressure mentality from Coach Narduzzi.
Yeah, it is. And they have linebackers that are so good at pressuring. They don't necessarily have to bring safeties down. You see DeMar Hamlin and Paris Ford still staying back in coverage. But the ability of these linebackers to get to the quarterback really adds to the pass rush.
They come with just 4. Oatsfall sprints out to his left and just can't connect with Harley.
Seems like it's a fun defense to play. You know, they're up in people's faces. They don't back down.
All the way up in people's faces. Interestingly enough, Marquise Lovings, head coach at Austin Peay, refers to this defense as the mustache defense because they're right up in your face. I like the mustache.
Right up
defense.
in your mustache, yeah. Coach Lovings has a mustache. Coach Bates has a mustache. Defensive coordinator for Pitt. We saw Tim Zetz growing a full beard. The offensive coordinator for Austin Peay. Cole Deeds with the punt.
I feel like the mustache is making a comeback.
Turner's just going to let it bounce, and Pitt will take over from their own 39. Panthers take over, up by 42 in the third.
When I was in high school, this was a theater I came to quite often.
The support we've had over the last 2 months has been amazing.
It's not just a work environment. Everyone here is family.
If you are ready to open your heart and your home, check us out.
We thought for sure that we were done, and this town said not today.
Ever wonder where the capital A in Chick-fil-A came from? It started with grade A, top quality chicken. But we believed everything, not just the food, should be grade A. A is for all the little things we do to bring you our best every day.
The A in Chick-fil-A means a loving, caring team. We're all very supportive of each other. It goes beyond being a team. It's like a family, you know? I definitely can't imagine working anywhere but Chick-fil-A ever, especially right now.
Pitt up 42-0 over Austin Peay. Marcus Lovings, the interim head coach for the Governors, with the face mask on. If he didn't have it on, you'd be able to see his mustache that he's been rocking during the quarantine months. And he described this Pitt defense as the mustache defense because they're all up in your face all the time. And it got us thinking about some other great mustaches out there. And of course, it's college football season.
Carl Withers, Salvador Dali.
We got Dali in this mix. Cower.
Oh, wait,
Cotter.
Who's that? Ooh, that was a quick Cotter shot.
Yeah, and then the legendary run right there. If only I could have gotten the Cowboy a little bit better, though. A little bit longer on either side.
That's very Blue Steel of you right there.
Thanks.
Zoolander-ish.
That first picture was in this very booth last year against Pitt. And Coach Adazio called me a dude because Adazio loves mustaches. He rocks one often. He's like, hey, you're one of my dudes with that mustache. He loved it. Of course, he got fired the next day, but I was the last dude he ever had at Boston College. Now he's out of Colorado State.
I like that. That's something to hang your hat on, Chris.
There it is.
The last dude.
That was a good look from November last year.
And it was cold, right? You were keeping your upper lip warm with your mustache.
Correct. It was very functional.
It was functional.
Try that again this year. Vincent Davis still on his feet. Big time run by Vincent Davis. This running back by committee, backfield. A lot of guys are going to carry the ball. It's not just today. We heard from Narduzzi. It's going to be A.J. Davis. Todd Sibley scored a touchdown earlier today, as did Daniel Carter. You saw Vincent Davis and his ability, his elusiveness here.
I think the funny part is that Pat Narduzzi was hoping that someone would become a clear, defined #1 running back. But with the success that they've all had, it's really tough to pinpoint who's going to be #1, #2, #3, #6, #7. Everyone has done a really good job at that running back position.
It's Davis bouncing it outside. He's going to lose a yard.
Mark, I agree with you. And from field level, I'm not sure any of them have the body type to be a 20 carry a game type runners. They're mostly on the slight side. Davis is 5'8", 175 pounds. He's a little more on the electric, a little more of the quickness size, and he's become a voice of the running back room. He's really stepped up his leadership.
Yeah, you know what, Q, if you're talking about prototypical tailback size, it's probably Izzy Abanikanda, the true freshman, who comes in at 5'11", 200, as opposed to, Sibley's a bigger back. He's 225. Carter's 220 pounds. Nice play dropping. Davis was Cordell Jackson. He's going to be heard, Cordell Jackson, before the game is over.
Absolutely. Cordell Jackson, we haven't been able to call his name too much just because of the success in the run game that Pitt has had. But he's a player that, he lines up just, I think he would be a perfect fit in this Pitt defense. Really, DeMar Hamlin and Paris Ford, and you could add Cordell Jackson into that lineup and he would be a player. So he is a really good FCS player, preseason All-American.
3rd and 14, Davis Bevel back to pass. Sidearms it nicely. Gets it into his receiver's hands and shy of a first down. It'll bring up about 4th and 3. Jared Pickett, tight end on the receiving end.
I think they'll go for this. Mark Whipple's not showing any indications of wanting to punt. As Bevel comes over, quarterback and OC communicate directly in this Pitt system. Coach Whipple can then insert some extras like, hey, watch the safety or read the defensive end. See what he dialed up on 4th down.
What better way to get a redshirt freshman quarterback experience going for it on 4th down than actually doing it in a live game?
Empty backfield, Vincent Davis split wide left. 4th and 4. Pickett couldn't come down with this one, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Pitt still up by 42. Austin Peay with the ball when we come back. Yesterday.
When I was in high school, this was a theater I came to quite often. Well, your friends, they came.
The support we've had over the last 2 months has been amazing.
It's not just a work environment. Everyone here is family.
If you are ready to open your heart and your home, check us out.
We thought for sure that we were done, and this town said not today.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A is for available. We can serve you in the drive-thru. We can deliver your food to your house. We have delivery partners, and we have our own delivery system. Home can be wherever you choose. You don't need to go anywhere else. On Sunday, maybe, but that's about it.
The A in Chick-fil-A stands for a connection. Having the opportunity to have a positive connection with the guest, I think is really cool. It is kind of a fun challenge to try to make that person's day. I don't know, it just makes life better. Like, why not?
Notre Dame joins ACC football for the first time ever and can compete to win the ACC championship. Do they have what it takes to break Clemson's 5-year title streak?
Yeah, Notre Dame got the win against Duke earlier today in South Bend. 15 teams, no divisions. Top 2 will compete for the ACC championship. And that ball in and out of the hands of the defender, Eric Hallett. He's going to be kicked. That's another drop, even though it's on the defense. That should have been a pick, maybe pick 6.
That's push-ups.
Yeah, that's brutal. Hallett, backup free safety, get an opportunity to play as Coach Randy Bates, defensive coordinator, pulling some of his starters, including DeMar Hamlin. Snap picked up by Oatsfall. Gets it out to Wilson. Finally, those two hook up, and it wasn't even simple. Wilson had to make a nice one-handed catch. Pick up of about 4 yards. I mentioned the game against Duke, the Notre Dame game earlier in the day. Irish survived 27-13. Got a late turnover to salt that one away. North Carolina was close against Syracuse in Chapel Hill before they pulled away late. And Florida State and Georgia Tech, that game delayed for quite a while because of weather, but Seminoles up 10-0.
Yeah, when you look later tonight on ACC Network, I can't wait to see what Louisville does offensively. They have such dynamic players in Tutu Atwell, Mikael Cunningham, at quarterback.
Hawkins. Man, it's so much fun to watch.
It really is. The way Scott Satterfield has gone in and really just turned that program completely around, they are an exciting team to watch.
A.J. Woods on the coverage that time as Oatsfall tried to hit Wilson. Tonight at 11 o'clock Eastern, the Huddle Quartet, Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, E.J. Manuel, and Mark Richt's going to be back with complete breakdowns of all 6 of those games you just saw, the 6 ACC games today. The Huddle tonight right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Lots to talk about. DJ Turner back to receive this punt off the toe of Cole Deeds. Mr. Deeds. Probably too old school for many of you viewing at home. Deeds off the side of his foot. Turner just going to let this one bounce, and it's picked up at the 28-yard line. That's where it's blown dead. Pitt will take over.
Mr. Deeds, I like that. I like the reference.
Did you like that?
I did like that.
All right, good. It's too easy and terrible at the same time.
I feel like I could just see you sitting at home on your couch.
Watching Mr. Deeds
making your own
times.
Buttered popcorn in the microwave and just having it on a repeat and laughing hysterically.
That's probably a stretch. The story before that, laughing hysterically part, was close to accurate for the last few months. But glad I got football. Glad I got work now. I'm working football games and working this one in the ACC. Joey Yellen, receiver out here in the flat.
Seeing good energy on the Pitt bench.
Yeah, they like that one.
Yeah, they sure did. And you love seeing that. You know, anytime you see teammates start giving a whoa on the sideline, like they did for Thompson on that catch, you know something special happened.
Yeah, Mark, I was going to say, Mark, what's your level of engagement if you're a starter and now you've been pulled from this game? What's your role? What are you doing on the bench here?
Well, especially with no fans in the stands, you have to become cheerleaders immediately. I mean, you're getting a lot of guys in, getting a lot of experience, and they're making plays, and they need to know that the players that they look up to are watching, and they're seeing them make those plays. And I think that what you see from this Pitt team is people up on the sidelines, and the seniors are watching and cheering on the younger players.
False start on that offensive line.
False start, offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Blake Zubovic, the guilty party. Let's send it to the studio. Jordan Cornett. What's going on, JC?
Fellas, let's take a look at the Fansville studio update from Tallahassee, Georgia Tech, Florida State. Tech looking to get on the board. 22-yard field goal. Janarius Robinson says, not on my watch, blocks it. Florida State still leads 10-0. Not a full 60 minutes. Are we docking Cotter and Herzog's pay?
Love it. Love hearing JC back in studio.
We're scared to answer that question.
Getting the crew back together.
Yeah, JC, I do not think that they are docking our pay. We will see, though. We'll see when those paychecks come.
10-minute third quarter, 10-minute fourth quarter, as this game was 42-0 at the half. Pitt scored on 6 straight possessions, and now they've gone 3 straight without scoring. Now giving some players some playing time, including Joey Yellen. Tried to go over the middle. Couldn't hook up with Garrett Bickhart. Nice play defensively by Jonathan Edwards.
Really, too, what you're seeing is how effective Kenny Pickett is, right? You don't necessarily understand the difference between a 3-year starting quarterback and a backup until you see it live on the field. And Kenny Pickett, fantastic first half into that third quarter. And what you're seeing from these backup quarterbacks is exactly what you want to see as a coach, honestly. You want to see them make hard throws down the field. You want to see them have some success, but also if you throw an interception as a backup right now, it's not the worst thing in the world because you will learn from them.
Chris Dulu, high kick. Parker calls for a fair catch, lets it bounce, and it does take an Austin Peay bounce. And just inside the 15, they'll mark it at the 13. That's where Austin Peay will take over. ACC Commissioner John Swofford announced the formation of the ACC's Committee for Racial and Social Justice, operating under the moniker of CORE, which is Champions of Racial Equity. The committee's vision is to lead in college athletics by promoting and instilling racial and social justice and equity for all. CORE is chaired by ACC Senior Associate Commissioner Mary McElroy and consists of numerous members of the conference office staff who will work with campus representatives and student-athlete advisory committee members from each of the ACC's institutions.
And earlier this year, John Swofford, who is the longtime commissioner of the ACC, announced that this would be his last year. And I think a lot of us thought that maybe his last final big act would be welcoming Notre Dame football into the ACC. But right now, this might be an even more important act that he is doing, setting up this Champions of Racial Equality chapter. And I think the great part about it is you have staff members, high-level staff members at every single school working in conjunction with the Student Athlete Advisory Committee to set up different policies and practices and structures around racial equity. And the way that gets implemented could end up being John Swofford's most fine moment as commissioner.
This ball picked up by Hallett. Hallett's still on his feet. Still on his feet. Got a flag down. He'll finally be dropped at about the 27-yard line. Pitt will take over. I agree with you about Swofford. I think he would probably tell you himself that this final act is his proudest moment.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what?
During the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block. The return team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Pitt will retain possession.
We got some little turnover basketball going on.
Number 90 of Pitt. Number 90.
All right, we got some turnover basketball.
Yeah, turnover slam dunk. They had it last year. It's hard to dunk when it's a moving target.
Right. It's like, stop running away from me.
Isn't that part of it, though? I mean, you have some of those games, the Pop-A-Shot games, where the basket is moving closer to you and then away from you. Part of the skill involved.
I think DeMar Hamlin was just having too much fun with it. made it hard for his buddy Eric Hallett.
Well, remember Hallett dropped one earlier in this half.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, he made up for it a little bit there.
Here he goes.
Oh, see, he did. Yeah, he missed. Oh, he made it. He got
right-handed windmill.
Yeah, he got blocked on the first one by his own teammate.
Patrick Jones congratulating him on the dunk, and more importantly, on creating the turnover. Gets the ball back to the Panthers. Number 17 in the game, quarterback for Pitt, Davis Bevel. He and Yellen have been going back and forth here in the second half.
Yeah, and he whipped that ball out there. Love his upside and potential in that second string quarterback role. Great pass right there to end the quarter.
Tired of...
Can't wait to tell everyone about AT&T's big 5G news.
AT&T has nationwide 5G?
Yep.
And that's faster?
Faster, yeah.
But is it reliable?
Uh-huh, and secure.
You should consider making a big deal about it.
Bigger?
I said bigger.
Oh, bigger deal, bigger than what I'm doing.
It's not complicated. A 5G network needs a 5G device. Now everyone, including existing customers, can get a free Samsung Galaxy Note 20 after trade-in.
Hey there, I'm Aisha, and my favorite thing about the Chick-fil-A nuggets is how easy you can share them with your friends. They taste fresh, they're crispy, you can taste that every single one is unique. The top tier, best chicken nuggets ever. You guys should put that in the commercial.
Hi, my name is Brian, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese is you can taste the different types of cheeses and the blends that they use, and everything just comes together. It's like a delicate dance. They're like perfection in every bite.
Pittsburgh up 42-0 over Austin Peay State as we start the fourth quarter here at Heinz Field. Pittsburgh Peay. Redshirt freshman Davis Bevel taking over for Kenny Pickett, who had a very successful first half at the quarterback spot for Pitt. We're playing 10-minute quarters, as you can see on the clock there on the right. We played a 10-minute third quarter and a 10-minute fourth. Game was 42-0 at the half. Both teams mutually agreed that that would be the best course of action here for the remainder of the game. And that is not going to be a big play as it was blown up. Big play defensively for Austin Peay. The handoff to Todd Sibley. He was dropped for a big loss. Hey, tonight it's ACC Network Primetime Football. Western Kentucky takes on Louisville at Cardinal Stadium. 8 o'clock on the ACC Network. It immediately follows us. And on the ESPN app, Roy Philpott is on hand with Tim Hasselbeck and Eric Wood. Eric, hometown kid, just getting his car, drive to the stadium. Hometown kid.
Yeah, hardly a kid. Hardly a kid. Eric Wood is about as massive can get, but he's also so revered by that school, and when you see him at those games at Louisville, just the way he is treated and the way he treats the fans is really remarkable.
Where's Martin on the stop for Austin Peay, bringing up fourth down. Pitt's offense is kind of run aground, but it's understandable, Mark. They have Pat Narduzzi is trying to play just about everybody on the roster today, getting everybody some PT. Kirk Christodoulou, who didn't punt at all in the first half, getting a little bit of a workout here in the second. Working on then to get inside the 5, and it takes a bad bounce for him into the end zone. Panthers up 42-0 here in the fourth quarter.
Get up. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way.
On to slide 236, which covers line 45. We were at 62%, and then
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A is for available. We can serve you in the drive-thru. We can deliver your food to your house. We have delivery partners, and we have our own delivery system. Home can be wherever you choose. You don't need to go anywhere else. On Sunday, maybe, but that's about it.
The A in Chick-fil-A stands for a connection. Having the opportunity to have a positive connection with the guest, I think is really cool. It is kind of a fun challenge to try to make that person's day. I don't know, it just makes life better. Like, why not?
Panthers pitching a shutout today. In their history, they have 47 shutouts on opening day in 131 years of football. Now, most of those prior to World War II, but they're trying to get another one here tonight. And if they do, they're going to do it without Rashad Weaver. According to his Twitter account, before the game, Mark, we got word that he had tested positive for COVID and that he wouldn't suit up for today, along with 6 of his teammates. But yet the team has played very well on the defensive side of the ball, even without him.
Yeah, and the tweets really signified that he had conflicting results from different companies. So I think it's something that was frustrating for him not being able to return, especially because he missed all of last season with a knee injury. And when we talked to some of the players on Pitt's team, they said that last year, right around this time actually, losing both Rashad Weaver and Keyshawn Camp was so devastating. It almost felt like they couldn't continue practice. Those two had such a presence on this football team. Today they are playing without both those guys again, and it seems like that's probably due to, according to Rashad Weaver's tweet, COVID-19 related issues.
And Pitt, obviously, with the protocol.
Yeah, well, here is the protocol. They get tested, all these Pitt players and support staff, okay, 200 of them, including student managers, assistant trainers. Anybody who comes in contact with the program will get tested on Sunday afternoon. They'll also get tested on Wednesday and then on Friday. So they're getting tested 3 times a week. It's asking a lot of these players to really adapt their behavior, to stay safe. Pitt is going back to a hybrid online and in the classroom next week. Most of these football players will remain getting their education completely online. Kenny Pickett told me that he's not going back in the classroom. But again, there are people associated with the program who will go back. And I think curtailing what's going on at night is really the critical part of keeping football alive this fall.
Cam Williams in a quarterback now for Austin Peay. The Governors picking up their first down since the first quarter.
You talk about the responsibility of doing things the right way. Narduzzi says you got to do it that way. D-A-T. Details, accountability, together. And that's what they harped on every single day throughout this offseason so that they could be ready to play football in September.
I think successful teams, I think they're going to stick to the discipline. I think when a team goes 0-4, 0-5, you're going to start to see some fractures. I also think that you're more susceptible to guys lower on the roster, maybe guys who don't play.
Cam Williams gets belted as he tried to get rid of it. It's an incomplete pass.
Coach Narduzzi told us he's addressing it every single
incomplete pass.
And Nate Temple got in on the quarterback. Go ahead, Q.
Yeah, this Coach Narduzzi and his staff just emphasizing their safety and making the right decisions and sacrificing and being disciplined every single day to his team.
Well, Nate Temple doesn't get to play very often, Mark. Love that play. A quarterback, dead to rights.
And he's a true freshman. I think that one of the things that is different this year with true freshmen, really with anyone, is the fact that there is no 4-game limit, no 4-game redshirt limit. Any single person who plays football this year can play this entire season and really forego the discount of eligibility. They can have another year.
Play the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So that holds true for freshmen, that we don't have to redshirt, but that also holds true for seniors, 5th-year seniors. I mean, you can come back for another year regardless of what happens this year.
There's a look at Temple. Forced that errant pass on that last 3rd down. Cole Deeds, who's gotten the workout in. Back to punt for Austin Peay after they march off the 5-yard delay of game penalty. 6:53 left to go in this 4th quarter. We played a 10-minute 3rd quarter. We're playing a 10-minute 4th. With Pittsburgh up 42-0. That was the halftime score here. And the punt is blocked. Blocked and picked up by the Panthers, and they'll add to that 42-0 score.
Wow, what a play. Pat Narduzzi was so excited about his special teams and the buy-in on special teams from really his entire team. It was an area that they knew they needed to improve on from last year.
And another one of those running backs playing special teams. This is Sibley, who scored a touchdown on the ground in the 1st quarter, and he could have taken the ball off Deeds' toe. Pretty much did.
And he blocked it with one hand. When you're teaching special teams punt rushers how to block a punt, you say take your fingertips to the toe of the kicker. And he did just that, kept his head down. And fun stat, our special teams coach always used to throw at us is half the punts blocked in the NFL every year are with one hand. And that one fit the bill.
Before the snap, timeout was called. Pitt. The first of the half.
Coach Narduzzi calling a timeout. He wants to get another kicker in the game. Wants to get everybody playing time today.
30-second timeout.
So Kessman, who's a 4-year starter, he'll go sit on the bench, and we'll get a chance to see Ben Sauls, freshman from Tip City, Ohio.
They're icing their own kicker here, the lefty freshman.
I know the freshman's
got a lot of time to think about it now.
A lot of pressure with this PAT. His team's only up 48 points.
I feel like Tip City is a pretty good name for a bar. Tip's a restaurant.
You know what his high school?
All the tips.
His high school in Tip City was Tippecanoe.
There you go, Tippecanoe.
Tippecanoe and Tyler too.
Or Tippecanoe.
Q's the only one here, the only other person here old enough to know what Tippecanoe and Tyler 2 is. Lefty Ben Sauls, freshman, in for the PAT. Bad snap. Sauls is picking it up. And he wasn't able to get anything going. Always got to be ready.
No whistles.
Finally, we get the whistle.
Wow.
Try for point is no good.
And Sauls is going to have to wait to score his first point as a Pitt Panther.
And who comes up with it? Patrick Jones.
Block punt for a score. Pitt score in every which way you can imagine. Today, the lead is 48.
Still driving the old model, huh?
I've been looking, but I just need someone to tell me what a good price is.
Just use Auto Trader. It's the only one with Kelley Blue Book. It tells you if the price is good.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way.
On to slide 236, which covers line 45. We were at 62%, and then
Some of the all-time great players in college football history have played for the Pitt Panthers. You think about it, Tony Dorsett, Heisman Trophy winner. Bill Fralick, one of the best tackles to ever play college football. 3-time All-American here. Of course, Larry Fitzgerald, one of the great receivers to ever strap on a helmet. And then Dan Marino. Probably even a better professional career, even though he never won that elusive Super Bowl than he had in his college days here. And I mean, those are 4 of the greatest players to ever play their positions in college football history.
Yeah, I know. And when we were off camera, I asked you, who do you think was the best out of all those? And you can't pick.
No, you could even throw Fralick in there. You can't discount him because of what he was as a college player and as a pro.
And you look at all their pro careers, and especially Larry Fitzgerald with the longevity, still playing, but absolutely dominant players. And those are the type of players that these Pitt Panthers look to, that are on their walls and on the banners around their facility. Of this is the way we do it. This is the way it has been done in the past.
And Pickett comes into this year just a little over 3,000 yards behind Dan Marino for second all-time on the Pitt passing list. So he has a chance to catch Marino. He'll never catch Alex Van Pelt. Van Pelt is the leader with over 11,000 career passing yards. So that's out of the question. But Pickett certainly could have his sights set on Marino, and that would be a nice little feather in his cap. 48-0. Pitt right now on top. About 6.5 minutes left to go in this one. An opportunity for Cam Williams, and he's just under fire right now.
Ball might have come out as well, but
looks like he was able to hang on to it, but number 50 for Pitt was able to get in. Jason Collier, no, I'm sorry, that's Dayon Hayes, defensive lineman.
Dayon Hayes, he's from Pittsburgh, Westinghouse High School, right around the corner. You see him on the left side of your screen. really miscommunication up front by the offensive line, but sure did punish the quarterback when he got back there. Another freshman getting action.
Cam Williams will hand it off to Brian Snead. He picks up what he can on the right side. Every Saturday morning, the huddle with Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, and Mark Richt get you ready for ACC football. They'll preview the slate of games, keep you updated on all things ACC football. That's Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app.
There's going to be so much news this season on a weekly basis. Saturday mornings, it's going to be like, okay, who's playing this week? Who's out? Who's in? Who's hurt? Who disappeared? It's really going to be an amazing news year, game to game.
The other thing, too, is every single week, you think about the ACC, they have one non-conference game and 10 conference games. So a lot of these non-conference games are they're taking care of them on the schedule in the first couple of weeks. So we get into October, every week it's going to be a full slate of ACC versus ACC games.
Yeah, you're going to see that. And I think, unfortunately, right now, you've already seen some of these games be bumped back because of report of outbreaks at Virginia Tech just this week. Bumped that Virginia Tech-Virginia game back. And pretty soon, if a lot of these get bumped back, you're going to run out of spots to put them.
Right.
Meaning that you probably got to get off to a good start. And I look at Pitt's schedule. I think they can get off to a great start this year. I think the tougher games are on the back half of their schedule.
Deeds fumbles it out. He's going to run with it. No, he is going to get a kickoff. Right into the defender. Now Pitt can return this kick.
Oh, my goodness
inside the 5.
Wow.
Brandon George, the punt was right into Brandon George's breadbasket. He was able to pick up the kick and return it to the 2-yard line.
Oh, man. Well,
just a disaster for Austin Peay here. Deeds drops the punt. Now he's got no choice but to run with it. Says, hey, I can get a kickoff, but he couldn't get it high enough to get it over Brandon George.
and I mean, you know, at some point too, you know, we know that there was a change in the clocks to make it 10-minute quarters, but now even Austin Peay is playing their backups, and
Vincent
want to make
Davis,
sure everybody stays safe too.
Right, Vincent Davis dotting the I. Now we'll get a flag. I think Pitt may have jumped.
They're going to take a look at that last play.
We do have a flag on the play here, Q.
Before the snap started, timeout was called by Pittsburgh. Their second timeout of the half. Full media timeout.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Coach Narduzzi and Pitt up 48.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way.
On to slide 236, which covers line 45. We were at 62%, and then
Hey there, I'm Aisha, and my favorite thing about the Chick-fil-A nuggets is how easy you can share them with your friends. They taste fresh, they're crispy, you can taste that every single one is unique. The top tier, best chicken nuggets ever. You guys should put that in the commercial.
Hi, my name is Brian, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese is you can taste the different types of cheeses and the blends that they use, and everything just comes together. It's like a delicate dance. They're like perfection in every bite.
Cotter, Herzlich, and Quick Kesnick back with you in Pittsburgh. We talked about some of the great offensive players that this team has had, the school's had over the years. How about defensively? Hugh Green and Ricky Jackson playing on the same team. They had 74 sacks as a team in 1980. And those two were the head of it. Terrell Revis, Revis Island, and of course Aaron Donald won 4 awards in 2013. Davis spun down nicely. Well, he might have had a path to the end zone. It was shut down.
When you have a guy like Hugh Green, really you're not sure if you'll ever get a better defensive lineman come through your program. Oh, and then Aaron Donald comes.
Yeah.
And an absolute force in college, was recognized with all the awards. But what I'm so impressed with is what he has done in the NFL. I mean, he has taken that step and become the most dominant player across the board in all the NFL.
Fumble on the exchange. Yellen falls on it. Because there's always a question. Some guys don't have all the measurables, right? Like the size, the height, and you wonder, how are they going to compete at the next level? He's a little undersized, or he doesn't have the reach, maybe. Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. And I think what happens a lot of times, too, is you see guys like that end up at places like a Pittsburgh, maybe not an Alabama or a Clemson, because of the fact that they might be a little shorter or a little bit lighter. But then they come and they prove it against great competition in the ACC. And man, with Aaron Donald, you don't expect your defensive tackle to have a six-pack. That dude looks like Chris Cotter in the gym.
Thank you for that. Makes amends for Q's comment in the first half. Vincent Davis scores again. Another touchdown for the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale. Despite the fact that we have no crowd here, Vincent Davis plays it up for the crowd. Do have a DJ, though, and you got to give props to that DJ all day long. He's kept everybody pretty hyped.
I think he was talking to the All-State Sure Hands banner.
It's the only thing back there in that end zone stands. Now the freshman again. Another opportunity for the PAT. Right on the money this time. Ben Sauls. Snap, hold, and try. All good. 55-0 Pitt.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way.
On to slide 236, which covers line 45. We were at 62%, and then
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A is for available. We can serve you in the drive-thru. We can deliver your food to your house. We have delivery partners, and we have our own delivery system. Home can be wherever you choose. You don't need to go anywhere else. On Sunday, maybe, but that's about it.
The A in Chick-fil-A stands for a connection. Having the opportunity to have a positive connection with the guest, I think is really cool. It is kind of a fun challenge to try to make that person's day. I don't know, it just makes life better. Like, why not?
Pitt Panthers having fun on the sideline, and why not? A lot of their teammates have gotten playing time today. Paris Ford, one of the leaders on this team. Safety has had plenty of time to grab the camera, do some camera work. Vincent Davis with a couple of touchdowns himself. 55-0 Pitt on top here with 3:10 left to go in this contest. Parker going to be able to return this one 3 yards deep. He's taking it out. Just outside the 20, and Boston team will take over from there. Tonight it's ACC Network primetime football. Western Kentucky takes on Louisville at Cardinal Stadium, 8 o'clock on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. It's after us, and after we sit at the studio in Jordan Cornette for a little bit. Roy Philpott, Tim Hasselbeck, and Eric Wood will be on hand. Western Kentucky's played Louisville the last couple of years and played them tough. So let's see what the Hilltoppers can do tonight. That Louisville team, though, is fun to watch. A lot of weapons.
Yeah, and you get a lot of those Western Kentucky guys that maybe wanted to go to Louisville, in-state guys. So, playing with a little bit of chip on their shoulder, and gosh, excited to see the firepower offensively that Louisville has.
Governor's keeping it on the ground. C.J. Evans, who in his first carry of his college career, number 23 there, true freshman, went 75 yards 2 weeks ago against Central Arkansas. First career carry.
The first offensive play in college football in the 2020 season.
I would say the real estate has been a little tougher to come by here today for Evans. On the receiving end of that pass, and he gets gang tackled at about the 25. No gain. Let's see Evans here. Imagine. True freshman. Call is for you. You're nervous. You know you're going to get the football. Going out of that X bone mark, and he's gone.
Yeah, and you lay in bed dreaming about playing college football and what your first carry is going to be like. I'm sure it was a lot like that actual play. But it's interesting, the flex bones seem to work well for them in that first game. We haven't seen it at all tonight. But not much going on offense, obviously. But when you look at the future for C.J. Evans. It's a future that is bright. Lost their 3 top running backs from last year. Transferred Brian Snead in from Iowa Western. And then C.J. Evans, a true freshman, going to carry most of the load in the backfield this fall.
Williams out to Parker. They'll lose a yard on that pitch and catch. John Petrushin, number 0 on the tackle.
0. I know some people aren't used to seeing number 0s out there. You can debate on whether it's even a number or a null set or a lack of number.
Remember Kenny Burrow used to wear 00 for the Houston Oilers.
Yeah, the absence of a number too. But it's now legal in college football, and single digits are so popular, might as well add another one.
A lot of places you have to earn a single digit. A.J. Woods defending on that pass. There's a good look at Petrushin. Senior from Lower Borough, Pennsylvania. I'm sure a senior says if a senior wants 0, he gets the first crack at it.
Yes.
Williams flushed initially, now tries to get it to his receiver. That's Parker. Does make the catch. Might be Jordan Pollard. Check that, number 7. Haven't had an opportunity to call Pollard's name very much. Big time basketball player. Offensive coordinator Tim Zetz was talking about all the dunks that kid used to have in his basketball days. A lot of hops.
Going him again.
Go up, get up, and go after this one. Can't get that high.
He did a nice job on that play, getting off the press coverage.
Yeah, he did. You know, these are reps. These are live reps, and I think, you know, what they saw from Jordan Pollard last week, especially with D'Angelo Wilson down, he had to step up and make some plays, and he made a couple really good catches against Central Arkansas. Ball away from his body, adjusting in the air to the reception. He's a bright spot for this team going down the line in the future as well.
Yeah, if that ball was thrown with a little more arc, a little more air under it, you give that basketball player a chance to make a play on it.
Flag on the play. Let's check it.
There's no foul for illegal substitution on the play.
Pollard was
second down.
Sorry about that, Jerry. Pollard was able to get off the field, so we'll play second down and 10. Good reps here for Cam Williams, too, the junior from Memphis, Tennessee. Been in this program and in this offense for a couple of years. Very familiar with it. Completes that one to Benico Harley. Just a couple of moves, gets out of bounds, close to the first down marker. Looks like he's going to be a couple of yards shy.
And we asked Tim Zetz, the offensive coordinator, about Cam Williams, and he says he's a really balanced player. He runs the ball well, he throws the ball well, he's consistent. And you're seeing some of that here. Nice, accurate passes, zip the ball to his receivers.
2-minute drill, too. Who knows when he's going to have to use this at some point in time in the future.
You just see why Austin Peay is a winning program. They won 11 games last year, quarterfinalists in FCS. Just the way they're approaching the end of this game, the scoreboard doesn't matter. They're just operating at a high level, executing, not playing the scoreboard. I'm just impressed by the way they finished this game for the interim head coach.
Austin Peay. The first time out of the half. 30-second timeout.
You make a great point, Quinn, with the interim head coach. Marquise Lovings, you know, he's able to maintain poise on his sidelines. You know, you get down by this many points this late in the game, it's really easy to just run the ball. Just run the ball, run the clock out. But he's able to use Cam Williams right now. Another great pass as he's rolling out to his right, his wide receiver for a first down.
Take a look at Pitt's upcoming schedule. You and I will be right back calling the Syracuse game on the 19th. Syracuse played tough against North Carolina earlier today in Chapel Hill before the Tar Heels were able to extend that lead late. And then an interesting game against Louisville at home. You look at these games, you know, they get a bunch of home games early. What can they do in this early part of the season to really establish themselves as one of the favorites in this conference?
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, Pitt Panther fans were a little bit frustrated as the schedule was rescheduled. It seems like their in-conference schedule got a little bit harder. They still have to play Virginia Tech, Louisville, Notre Dame, Clemson, all the big powerhouses right now in the ACC. Pitt's going to have to beat. They have structured their offense and their defense in a way where they will have a shot in all of those games.
Yeah. Just another reminder, Louisville, Western Kentucky coming your way following us. They'll kick in about an hour's time. So we'll get some time in studio with Jordan Cornette, E.J. Manuel, and the crew from the huddle. Another sack for this Pitt team. Fumble on the ground, and the ball is picked up.
Oh, run! Oh, boy.
Another fumble before the Panthers finally fall on it. And the clock expires at the end of what was really a wild game. And it ends in a turnover with Pitt falling on the fumble. And a lot of Pitt Panthers with an opportunity to get some playing time today. And certainly Coach Narduzzi has to be happy with the way his first team offense and defense came out and played in the first half of this game.
I think he's also happy with the way some of the backups came in and they played relatively penalty-free football, didn't turn the ball over. They caused turnovers, got to the quarterback in sacks. And a lot of these freshmen that he had questions about on how they would perform under the lights came out and showed that they could perform at a high level.
Kenny Pickett, the starting quarterback, efficient, 14 of 20, 277 yards and a touchdown early. Pitt was able to get the running game going, ran for a total of 147 yards in the most lopsided win in the Narduzzi-coached era here at Pitt. 55-0, the final. Panthers with the win. Coming up next, college football is going to continue as Western Kentucky takes on Louisville. But first to the studio, Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, E.J. Manuel, and Mark Rick. Guys, take it away.
Chris